if I could invite Pam back to the table, and anyone else who wants to support us on the report from the joint meeting, proposed no overtaking lines, etc. And we've got items 15 and 16 that we deal with together, and we've got a, did we put some wording up? Yeah, we've added some wording, which is request staff to monitor the effectiveness of the changes on Dyers Pass Road from Hackthorn to Governor's Bay for a full 12-month period from the installation of the speed limit signs and the no overtaking lines, and report the results together with interpretation of the effectiveness of the treatments. So presuming we proceed, then we review after a 12-month period. We've got all the data that comes forward in that period.
Can I draw to the council's attention something that hasn't been mentioned, which was that Phil Clearwater added a clause for education around the issue of passing cyclists on when there are yellow lines, even though it may push you over the yellow line, is legal. And the staff, thanks very much to the staff, have identified that. And other issues associated with travelling on Dyers Pass Road. We'd like an education program. Yeah, so item 3 is pursue a strong communication education program in relation to the decisions on the changes in Dyers Pass Road. Yeah. All right, so Phil, I'm assuming you want to move it and Tim wants to second it. So are there any questions? Yanni, Bill, Pauline?
Just read on...
oh, well, hang on. Do we have staff for the questions? Yeah, come forward. Sorry, I'm not going to expose the chairs to technical questions.
Just 129 on section 5.13. The lower section of Dyers Pass Road on Governor's Bay side has a lower level of reported accidents compared to the balance of the route. However, the accidents along this section are considered high relative to other roads in Christchurch. So I'm struggling with the idea that we only do this on one side, given that you're telling us in the report the advice is that this area is still actually a high risk compared to other roads in Christchurch. So can you just help me understand why the decision's been made not to?
It's a community board decision.
Okay, well, whoever's made that decision, or can we just get some understanding of why that decision's
Andrew,
been made?
when you, why that decision was made?
Yeah, I mean, the considerations on both sides of the hill were considered to be quite different in part. And certainly the theme of the submissions from each side of the hill were quite different. There was a very strong view expressed, particularly by the Governor's Bay community, but others on the Diamond Harbour side of Littleton Harbour as well, that the yellow lines were not appropriate for that part of the road, partly because of the narrowness of the lanes and the state of the road, and also a big part of the consideration was around the understanding of the ability of a driver to be able to cross the yellow line to pass a cyclist. And whilst we heard from our staff that that was in fact the case under the road rules, information was presented from the NZTA website and from other sources that showed that it wouldn't be easy for a member of the public to realise that that was the case. And the thinking of the Banks Peninsula Board was that the loose gravel on the road, the overgrown vegetation, the narrowness of the lanes, and the general public understanding that it isn't okay to cross a yellow line would make it more dangerous for cyclists than if the yellow line was in place. So this really responded to submissions that we heard and read from the Governor's Bay community in particular. So the Banks Peninsula Board decided to support the lower speed limit, and that certainly was around matters of road safety, but not to support the yellow line, which we felt could easily make the road more dangerous for some road users rather than safer. Certainly happy to support the monitoring. Certainly happy to support the community education programme, and I think it's fair to say the Banks Peninsula Board would be very happy to look at this and quite possibly look at it differently once we've seen some further information that sets some of our concerns with that part of the road aside.
So can staff just give a breakdown of the submissions if you took out each section? what the percentage in support of the double yellow lines would be for each side? We don't have the submissions in front
Yeah,
of us.
it doesn't matter though. I mean, goodness
This
me.
This isn't
This was
council's
all,
decision.
it isn't the council's
The
decision.
yellow lines isn't our decision.
No.
They've already made that decision, Yanni. It's the 60
Okay, so this is a local road, is it?
Correct, yep.
So it's this, the speed limit changes. So that's the speed limit changes and it's the education and the, now the review after 12 months.
Yes.
So we're all good with that?
Yep.
Phil?
I just want to make sure, because this came up at the meeting, as Carol indicated, and just to ensure, and I'm sure the staff will, develop a plan around that, because it's clearly a crucial part of the process. But I don't know if staff want to comment on that now.
On the marketing.
The plan for the education part of the, and understanding by the public, John.
Yeah, so we've got a team of 3 or 4 people involved from marketing and communications that are undertaking an awareness campaign and educational campaign. So that's a combination of media releases and social media campaign that will be undertaken prior to construction, during construction and post-construction. So one of the key messages that we're getting across social media and media is the importance of cycle and vehicle safety, that you slow down when you see a cyclist, and if safe to do so in terms of good space and full visibility, then you can overtake on double yellow lines.
Thanks, John. That sounds really clear. And I guess the other clear part too, though, is clear signage being part of this too.
Correct, yes. So as part of the scheme, there's going to be past cyclist safety signage, which is a permanent feature on the road. So there's about eight locations across the route that will have signage.
Very good. All right, so have I got a mover and a seconder? Did I? Tim and Phil? Any discussion?
Equally happy to. Yep. And that's one from each side.
Tim and Andrew. Right, thank you, Phil. That's very generous of you. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you very much.
Just comment that there were a couple of remarks made during submissions which were directed at staff, and the staff acted with great restraint and expertise. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your good work on the chairing, so well done. Okay, so we've got 5 more minutes. That's enough time to do the Mayor's monthly